Okay, hello. So, long-awaited video number 2 in our book Nook series. So today we're going to do the lighting diagram. Little fairy lights to go on the inside of our walls. Now these can be a little bit tricky because we have to do a lot of ups and downs and a lot of measuring and making sure that the lamps are in the right place to go on our lovely little diagram, our little picture. So what we need is in your stack of papers, in your wad of papers, you have all your little templates, and what we want is the top right hand corner of your big sheet. You have a left lamp line template and underneath you have a right lamp line template, and it says we're doing the right lamp line template first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out with my craft knife, and then we're going to, the next step after that, so I'm not going to talk all the way through it. So what we're going to do, can you see that? I'll zoom in when I'm doing things. It says evenly apply latex to wood. I'm going to be using, I'm going to use Mod Podge for this. You can use, I found with mine PVA glue's fine. I'm going to be using matte PVA so that it's not glossy. If I spill anything, you won't be able to see it. So I like the matte glue. It says cut the paper template, the right side lamp line template, so make sure you get the right one. We want one of our pieces of the thick wood. Stick the paper right side lamp line template to the wood. When the latex is dried, squeeze the air bubbles gently with a piece of clean facial tissue to make the paper accessory match the wood. So basically what we're going to be doing, I'm going to put on a nice layer of glue. It's nice, and I'm going to, with some of their glues, basically you wait till it's a bit tacky and then you put it on. I'm going to put it on straight away, the paper template, so that I can slide it around and get it nice and neatly. And then I'm going to do it ever so gently because you don't want to tear this. I'm going to push out all of the bubbles, make sure it's beautifully flat, and then I'm going to wait. I want to wait for it to dry. I don't want then for it to get, I don't want to do it when it's too wet because I don't want to rip it. So we'll do that first, then we'll come back and we'll see what's next. Okay, so I've got my paper stuck to my board, and now we have 2 lamp lines, 2 strings to do. And the strings we need are D4, which is the one with 5 bulbs. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so just count them down. That's a 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a 5. This one should be a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, so I'm going to get that one right out the way so I don't get them mixed up. So the paper says fold and gently twist 1 5-head string lamp line together. So it wants you, and it tells you the measurements you've got: 1.7, 3.7, 3.5, 4.8 and 0.9. And it tells you to twist gently together, and then asks you to stick it to the black line, and then stick the next one to the grey line. So it gives you the impression that you want to twist all of your lines and then stick it to the board. Right, when I first did this, I tried this. Nah, that ain't gonna work for me, because I then don't know exactly where I'm gonna go. So I tried to do that and then marry up to the board, and that didn't. So what I wanted to do was I actually did it and married it up to the board at the same time and stuck them to the board at the same time and went along and kept sticking and going around. That I found much easier to go to the board and do it at the same time, rather than do it all and then try and marry it up to the board, and that that made more sense to me. So I'm going to use, let me get the glues that I'm going to use and then I'll show you how I do it. Okay, so I found this 3-in-1, Beacon 3-in-1 craft glue much better. I found this better, and instead, I know some people use hot glue. I get in a mess with hot glue, burn my fingers, it goes everywhere, it's stringy. This is slightly stringy, but the hot glue I didn't do. So I just used simple sticky tape for the pieces in between, and this for the actual sticking of the pieces on the circles of the lamp. So I've got a tiny little ruler to measure as I'm going along. This little tiny ruler has been a godsend when I'm doing these book nooks. It's much better than using a big bulky ruler. So I'm going to start with the very end. Do that first and then work my way along. Okay, let's go. If you get it wrong, it's okay, but just be really careful when you're twisting these wires. It isn't easy. And the other tip I can give you is, when it looks like you think, oh, I'll leave the lamp in the centre. No, I find it easier to tip it to one side and then twist, rather than putting the lamp in the centre and bringing the two down and twisting to the side and then twist. So let's get going. So we've done the first 3. Now as you can see, these wires, once you've measured these, they don't perfectly fit, but that's okay. I'm not bothered about that. I've just taped them down. I've made the wires fit the best. The most important thing is these lamp wires are the length that they want. So the first one, it doesn't have to be, it's not going to be to the millimetre. I'm trying to do it as best I can. First one was 1.7, second one was 3.7, and the third was 3.5. So as long as they are approximately as best to my ability, I've measured, bent the wire down, and they're best to my ability. So I'm going to go along and carry on and finish this one and tape it into place, glue down the dots, and I said I'm not bending it really. I'm being very careful not to damage the wires, and have just taped down just to make sure that these are in the right place. That's my main focus. So let's carry on. Now they're all in place, and what I'm going to do now to make sure that I haven't damaged any of the wires or anything, I'm going to do a little test with my battery. I'm going to turn my switch on, and I'm just going to, got my copper wires on the little bends there, look, and I'm just going to separate the wires, put the white to the white and the grey to the grey, and just check all my lamps light up, which they do. That's great. That means I haven't damaged any wires, I haven't over twisted, and I haven't bent anything out of shape. They all work perfect. This one totally now. We've got 2 5 lamp wires to this one. The first one the black line, the second the grey. They've overlapped each other, so this board is completely finished now. So yeah, that's that. And so what's next? So we're here, we have this bit done. Stick D8 paper accessory. Okay, so we've got to stick this beautiful little scenery piece on now. So we'll do that. I'll do it in exactly the same way as I did the first piece of paper with the glue, and then we'll see. Now it just says cut it along the full line, so that's for this long piece here to fit through the end one. So I'm presuming let's have a little, I'm presuming it's going to have little, if I remember rightly, let's have a look at the piece of paper. Should be in your, you might be too close now, but let me have a look and then I'll be zoomed. Yes, so they're little circles, and then you've got the little circles, so you have to cut the little circles for the lights to go through. So we'll cut that out, cut the little circles, and we'll push the little things through. So let's have a go at that. we're on the second one now. This is the left side. So I've cut out all the pieces, we've got everything ready as I showed you, but I'm actually going to do this one backwards. So the first one I started from 1, 2, 3 and went forward. This one I'm going to start from lamp holder 6. The reason being is in the diagram it shows us that the lamp holder 1 will be sort of floating, and so it doesn't tell me the measurement that the lamp holder will be from 1 to 2. So that is a guess. It tells me the measurements that it wants the lengths to be, the heights, but it doesn't tell me the measurements. Now on the first board I just looped the centres to make sure these fit, but on this one I want to make sure that I've got a long enough tail. So I'm going to start from the end, from the 6th one, because I know, if I look at the picture, I know that my tails, now obviously this isn't going to be perfect science because, you know, pictures are only diagrams. I know my tails kind of end virtually not much further than the board. So with that in mind, I have my tails and I'm going to estimate that they end not far off the end of the board. So then I've got my lamp, my little light, and so what I've done is from the light I have then calculated, I've measured, which they've told me it's 0.9 centimetres, so I've gone about 1 centimetre. I've then bent over, twisted, so I know that that one is roughly in the right place, and measured down, and that does give me my tail roughly where it says that it should be. So that, I'm pretty happy with that, that is going to start me in about the right place, and I'm going to go backwards, and then hopefully I'm going to be in roughly the right area. So I'm going to tack this down with tape first, just in case I end up in the wrong place. Then I will come back and glue them all after, and we'll see if we are actually right. I think you can see there. So I've gone along and taped everything in position and just held it there, but going backwards has worked nicely. I've got the little towel there, if you can see, which is about the right length. I've looked through everything and I'm pretty satisfied that that is exactly how it's meant to be. So I'm going to go and glue the top sheet on like we did with the other one, and then both sides will be done. So all done. We have the left and the right. We have all our wires in place. We have all the bulbs in place, I should say, and the wires. And we have all our scenery papers on top. Everything is glued and it looks sweet. The only other bulb we have is a single bulb, and that forms the base of our floor. So this will be our floor piece, and it has a hole at the back, and our bulb simply goes through it, and then our wires, I think our wires come, do they come to the side or do they come up to the, but that's basically, that's in a little while. So we've got to do a couple of steps before we do that. But for this video, that's all I'm going to do. That's to show you the wiring diagrams for the left and the right side. Yeah, so that's our video for this week, video number 2. And yeah, we'll get on with video number 3. I hope this has been useful to you. If you have any questions, I'll try and answer them. I'm not an expert, I'm just a crafter. Yeah, crafting along with you. So yeah, let me know how yours is going along. If you've done this before, let me know how it went. If you're doing it along with me, let me know how it's going. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.